And once again, we return, and this time we are watching Scott Wheeler Jr., the first driver we're going to focus on after our Thanksgiving break back at the Magic Mile. The championship race only has 3 races left to settle, with this being the 9th of which, following this point on, 3 races will determine the championship winner, and Scott Wheeler currently 27 points ahead of his championship rival in Kendall Kerr, who's currently on the track as we speak, but only on pit road, as Alan Kudman right behind both his teammates in Kendall Kerr, and James McKee is in the 4th position in the championship standings, only 40 points out of the championship lead himself, rocking a new paint scheme this time with the AT&T 5G on the side of his number 8 machine, a colorful look to come back to the remainder of this season, as it is only a 3-race season following this one. This is the 4th to last race before we wrap up the Highline Racing League HighPoint Premier Series season that will conclude the 2022 racing year. The Stadium Scene TV 125 at the Magic Mile is a 125 lap event at one of the fastest quote-unquote short tracks on the entire Earth. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, who does not often fit into a label, but one label you might say it has is a short track. Many have described it as such, although it is in more ways than not necessarily a short track. 1 mile is perhaps the longest short track on the American circuit, including the NASCAR Cup Series circuit, and the guys in the Highline Racing League recognize how unique a track like New Hampshire is, as Jason Harris going to back it down in his Grinch number 7 machine. Austin Bloom on the track right now in the Oreo number 3, as he looks forward to yet another consistent run. Austin Bloom made up 2 positions in the championship standings last time we went racing at North Wilkesboro, going from 16th to 14th and keeping himself just in the mix mathematically, although at the moment does not look like he will be in the realistic mix, barring some surprising outcomes. He's still there when it comes to the timing and scoring side of things. We'll see whether or not he can pull off his first victory of the season tonight. Casey Heschel not on the track right now, but a driver who is James McKee, gonna back it down and spin it around, almost gets it into the grass there. And the SB Designs number 9 machine, and James McKee going to park it as we have 4 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in practice. Kendall Kerr on the inside of the racing surface with Brad Kress right beside him, getting back on the racetrack. Kerr 27 points behind your championship leader right now, and he is looking forward to getting another good race in the books. Right now he is 10th in the practice charts, while his championship rival of Scott Wheeler is 2nd, and Kendall Kerr proves to be one fast qualifier and one fast driver overall, but practice not playing to his strongest suits just yet. He's going to fall right behind Alan Kuhn and try to learn from him, his teammate, as James McKee comes on the track at the exact same time and might keep up with his 2 teammates as he comes right off. Not a very highly banked racetrack here in New Hampshire, but every degree of banking you can use to your advantage will make you that much quicker, and that's why a lot of these guys don't choose to run on that all the way inside line, because that, as a matter of fact, is not banked to the same degree, and is banked more so, actually, like the pit road entry. Kendall Kerr going to take a big hit as he hits the pit road entry wall, and he's going to back it down, still 10th on the charts. Dylan Petit, last time by at North Wilkesboro, came home a race winner and looking to pick it up where he finished it off last time by, of course. In that last race, finished first. Now he is in first in practice with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, holding 1/10 of a second advantage on the Scott Wheeler Jr. machine. Chad Winstead on his way, one-time winner this season, 6th in the championship standings, 59 points out of the lead. Dylan Petit usurping him that time by at North Wilkesboro, of course, and he's only 3 points behind the top 5 in the championship standings. We'll see whether or not he can bring himself back up there, as Dylan Petit looking especially fast tonight, and he might have what it takes to put himself in the championship mix with only so many races remaining. Race 9 out of 12, and if you're going to make the move into the championship hunt now, it's better than never, and he might just have the opportunity to do so, as this race will get underway following our qualifying session. 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and now even less than that before we get to qualifying to see who can get that coveted pole position and set themselves up for success here in New Hampshire. Casey Heschel in the Mountain Dew machine back on the racetrack. Right in front of him is the number 40 machine, And that number 40 machine is on his way. Colton Gardner in the 16th spot on the standings, according to timing and scoring just now. Rolling through quite strongly here, trying to get a little bit quicker as he's only got so much time to do just that. 20 cars on the field right now, and HighPoint represented tonight by the returning Toby Wedgwood, back for the first time this season, and a great thing to see the driver, that 52 machine, back in action for the first time here. 20th on the charts, but he's getting quicker each time by and getting a little bit more experience down as he looks to get just a bit quicker and put himself back in contention here tonight, as he is returning what could be his one and only start of the season, representing the HighPoint Premier sponsorship that they have presented to the HighPoint Premier Series, and we are greatly appreciative for their support of this league. Still, Dylan Petit not on the racetrack, but Alan Kudman is, and how about we go on board with Alan Kudman and see how he does it, as he is 36 thousandths of a second off of Scott Wheeler's time. For now, he might be trying to get a little quicker. Let's see. He goes down to that second groove and use it all the way. No shifting through the first two turns. He keeps it all the way in gear 5 and backs it out. Full throttle about quarter way through the backstretch. And gets it down to 6,000 revs a minute. As a matter of fact, a little bit less than that. It's a 5th gear track for the Driving 8 machine. That is a lap with Alan Kudman. That was a 31.9, rather, a 31.098. And now, Dylan Petit on the track as well. And Petit choosing not to shift, keeping it in the 5,500 range. Getting very close to 5,300, actually gets to 5,300, but does not go under. And he comes down to the start-finish line once again for Dylan Petit. That time by, that was not a valid lap according to timing and scoring, but he won't need one to put himself up front. Dylan Petit, top of the charts in practice. Still a lot of time to determine the race winner as we will head to qualifying right now. Dylan Petit gonna send it into the barriers. Let's see what he has in store for the drivers of the Highline Racing League here in qualifying. Who is gonna get it done and get that pole position? Let's find out. Terry Brooks on his way already. Looks to be the first driver out on the racing surface. Kenny Brooks out as well. Chad Winstead on his way, getting out on the racetrack. Kenny Brooks there on your screen. Adam Bozzi and Austin Bloom just gets off. And Matthew Rodriguez has just spawned onto the track as well. Toby Wedgwood doing just the same. And Scott Wheeler on his way. And I believe it's going to be the Adam Bozzi machine rounding through the 3rd and 4th turns at full pace. Will lead us in to the qualifying session. And let's see what these guys have in store. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remain. And now less than that, we're back in action here. Let's see what these guys have. 4 minutes, 11 seconds to set 2 fast laps. Who's going to set the 2 fastest? We're just going to have to wait and see. And Kyle Freeman saying go 29. The 29 machine is Brad Kress, who is not on the racetrack yet, but he just gets off at pit road. And let's see what the driver of the 27 can do here as he comes off of the back straightaway onto the front straightaway. And Adam Bozzi, first driver to set one down at 30.883. And Terry Brooks is going to be faster with a 30.727. Kenny Brooks in 3rd now with a 30.931. Chad Winstead going to set himself all the way up to the top of the charts just behind the driver, Terry Brooks. Brooks top of the charts for now. Scott Wheeler 2/1000ths of a second off. And Chad Winstead will not go around. But Scott Wheeler is going to lose a load of time. And his second lap is not going to play in his favor. That's the run for Scott Wheeler as Terry Brooks improves even further and is a 4/1000th. Now it's going to be Adam Bozzi with a 500th second advantage. And he takes it from Terry Brooks. Austin Bloom now 33/1000ths of a second ahead. And Chad Winstead usurps them all as he now takes pole position with a 38/1000th of a second advantage over the remainder of the field. Alan coming on his way. The 29 of Brad Kress, currently 8th on the charts. And top of the charts, Alan Kudman is in 3rd. He's still got one more lap to get just a bit quicker. As he diamond arcs it there. Gets a monster exit. The AT&T 5G machine might be his fastest AT&T 5G Wi-Fi right now. We're going to find out if Alan Kudman can push it to the top of the board here. Chad Winstead is a 38 1,000th of a second advantage for pole position. Coming across the stripe this time by, looks to be about on the same pace as he was last lap. And for Alan Kunman, it won't be better, but he will be in the 3rd position. Brad Kress second to 10th at best, as Jason Harris on the 2nd and final lap. Matthew Rodriguez looks like his run is done, wrecking on the 2nd lap. Jason Harris, though, still has a chance to put himself up front. Last opportunity here. And the number 7 machine going to use it to his advantage. 1 minute, 50 seconds remain. Casey Heschel second on the board now. James McKee through and through, 4th on the charts. Heschel in 2nd, and it's going to be Jason Harris in 17th. No improvement that time by. Casey Heschel has the pace here. Might be able to get it done. We're going to find out. Backing it down and around last time. Misfit Mafia represented by 1 tonight, but he is position number 2 in qualifying for now. Will he get pole position? Coming down to the stripe, and for Casey Heschel, he will go to the top of the charts. Pole position for the 49. And how about that? Matthew Rodriguez down and out of this one. And Scott Wheeler out as well. And we only have 2 drivers who have yet to qualify. It's Andrew Baker and Kendall Kerr, and as a matter of fact, I believe that comes down to penalties, with Kendall Kerr and Andrew Baker starting at the back of the field as a result of penalties applied last race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Jason Harris, the only driver still on the racetrack. Let's ride on board with the driver of the 7. And Jason Harris, you can see the banking more accurately. The first group is actually banked sort of to the opposite of the remainder of the track. And Harris powers through in that 2nd groove. And hitting his marks, breaking at about the 2 marker there. And getting so close to the dotted white lines. And getting a powerful exit, that is the goal. And Jason Harris going to get yet another practice lap. And he looks to be 0.3 of a second faster. His qualifying laps he has taken after timing and scoring, and how he was beforehand is certainly improvement for Jason Harris, but it will not be Jason Harris on pole position. It will be Casey Heschel, top of the charts. Let's get to your starting grid here in New Hampshire. The Magic Mile, 125 laps to do it here in New Hampshire. Loudon, always providing great racing action. Let's get to the show once again. And let's see your starting grid for the Stadium Scene TV 125. James McKee, currently the highest qualified driver up front, who is registered and is on the starting grid. Casey Heschel, not yet there. We're going to wait and see whether or not he chooses to show up just yet. When Casey Heschel does appear on the racing surface, we will be able to get to the starting lineup for tonight's event. NBLXL saying let's go, and let's go indeed. And it looks like we've got a great field of 20 drivers here tonight, a little bit smaller than usual, but coming off of a break, so a lot of guys having some priorities to take care of, as the holiday season is in full swing. And we've only got now just about 2 drivers not on the racetrack. Caleb Morrissey, now Casey Heschel. And let's get in to your starting grid for tonight's event. Casey Heschel rounding out up front in the 30.507 laps, setting him to the top of the charts, with Chad Winstead just a few hundredths of a second behind with 30.588. Then it's going to be Adam Bossie in 3rd, Jason McKee in 4th, and rounding at the top 5, it's Alan Kunman with Austin Bloomer right beside him. Dylan Padilla in 7th. He was the defending winner from North Wilkesboro. Will he get the victory again tonight? We'll find out, as Terry Brooks just beside him in the 8th spot. Rounding at the top 10, Garrett Sidnor, Scott Wheeler in the 10th spot, and Brad Crescent 11 with Kenny Brooks in position number 12. Caleb Morrissey in 13th, and Dylan Body in the 14th position. And Dylan Body, the first driver under the 30-second barrier, as Colton Garter, the final driver in the top 15. Matthew Rodriguez 16th, and Jason Harris in 17th. Toby Wedgwood makes his way up into 18th, and Kendall Kerr and Andrew Baker, serving penalties, will not set qualifying laps, and that is your 20-car field for 125 miles and 125 laps tonight in New Hampshire. Let's find out what these guys have in store, because it's going to be a great show no matter what here, as the 49 machine will lead them through to the first series of turns. 8AMC TV, proud partner of the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel and the Highliner Racing League. And we are glad to work with them once again. Let's get back at it. Casey Hatcher going to lead him to the green. The Stadium Scene 125. The Stadium Scene TV showdown is underway. And it's going to be a clean getaway for the driver of that 49 machine. And he's making a great run thus far. Of course, we have just gotten started, but he gets away pretty well. Brad Kress, 6th position. He's going to make the move down on the inside line on Garrett Signor. And the race is underway here. We've already got double file action here in the Magic Mile. AC Heschel going to lead him clean and green through the first of them. And Brad Kress moving his way up while Adam Bozzi in second and James McKee in the 3rd position. Chad Winstead in 4th, and yellow flag is out. We got an incident, Andrew Baker involved, and Matthew Rodriguez involved as well. And that is 18th position driver, Matthew Rodriguez. Let's find out what happened, get a wider angle, and see what just occurred. Ed McCurr might have been involved in that one. We're going to find out. Back of the field, it appears. And Shelly Bloom saying, go Austin, and a number 3 machine, Austin Bloom, looking to get a great run here tonight. And let's find out what caused that first wreck. And that appeared to be Caleb Morrissey with a wide angle showing you. Morrissey drifts up the track, gets hit. Matthew Rodriguez able to avoid it. But Morrissey in trouble once more, and this time by. Starts immediately for the channel lock number 6 machine. Let's find out. You see he's already spinning by this point. And this is coming out of the 2nd lap. Let's find out what happened here. Might just gotten a bit loose. No contact. Goes on to the first line of asphalt, and that is what sent him around. The camber there took him for a ride. And Caleb Morrissey already banged up. The driver of that 6 machine having a bit of trouble thus far. Now in the 19th position. And going down pit road, Casey Heschel leading the way. Stadium Scene TV saying thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Let's have a great race. Let's have a great race indeed. We got to thank Stadium Scene TV for being a great supporter of the content created by not just myself, but many, many creators in the digital field when it comes to production of media and digital media. They're the way to go. Stadium Scene TV, we got to thank them dearly for their support of this channel, thick and thin. Their work this season with us has been nothing short of incredible. Got to thank them for that one. Heschel leads the way over Adam Bozzi. We've still got a load of time before we get back to the action here. Lap 4 of 125, and Adam Bozzi looking good thus far. Here we go. Once again, in just about a lap or two's time, we should be getting to the double file showdown once more. Either this time, if they do choose to shorten the yellow flag, which they can, but if they don't, we will have to wait an extra lap as Heschel is going to come down once again, and it looks like the choose rule is in effect. James McKee goes to the inside. Chad Winstead is going to make it to the outside, and we will be going back green, this time by 1 lap to green. And let's see what these guys have left. Adam Bozzi, who is position number 7 in the championship standings. The driver who is 69 points out coming into this one. Close that gap dearly. He has a lot of opportunity to do just that. He's got a lot of room here. Scott Wheeler in 9th. And Adam Bozzi, of course, now in 2nd, right beside Casey Heschel. He might be able to make it happen with Winstead and James McKee next to one another. Garrett Sidnor, Brad Kress, Austin Bloom, Jason Harris, as well, and Terry Brooks. Your top 10. Stacked field of drivers. There's only one up front, and flag to flag thus far, it has been Casey Heschel leading this pack. And the green flag. First reset of the night. We are back under green. Let's get at it once more. And as it all plays out, everyone gets through the first 2 turns cleanly. We are back underway, and the entire field spread out throughout the backstretch. Casey Heschel using that second and third groove. As a matter of fact, using the middle of both to try to get a diamond through the corner. Works out. Brad Kress goes side by side with Chad Winstead. Winstead trying to make the maneuver for position number 4. And a lunge there for Kress, going to move him just a bit up. And trying to get right behind James McKee. Brad Kress in the 29 machine making the moves. We got one slowing, and it looks like he didn't body the 26 machine, using a lot of time there in his number 26 Toyota Camry. Waffle House sponsorship on that number 26. And now behind Caleb Morris, who's back on the racing service, seems to have some damage. Shoot and close in on Toby Wedgwood now. Trying to get the remainder of the pack as the race goes on. Wedgwood gonna let Caleb Morris do that. Jason McKee gonna try to have at it here with Adam Bozzi. Lets him go that time by lap 8 at 125 and lets him dive into that corner. Trying to use that to his advantage to perhaps force a mistake out of the 27 machine. We'll see whether or not that is a strategy that will work. If it's a sound strategy, we will see results in just a few laps. It looks like the pressure is on for Adam Bozzi, with not just James McKee, but now Brad Kress. As Kress getting closer and closer to James McKee as well. And now he's going to back down to the inside line. Gets just a bit squirrely and side by side with Chad Winstead once more. How about that? James McKee fighting in the second position here with Adam Bozzi. So we got one wiggle there in the back of the pack. And that was Brad Kress and Terry Brooks fighting. Brooks the one who wiggles. Scott Wheeler closing in slowly but surely. Wheeler up into 7th, gaining time as we speak. And laps through. Still a long way to go here, and Casey Heschel leads the way. Adam Bozzi continues to work his way around the racetrack with similar pace. That time by, he was about 8/100ths of a second faster than the race leader, James McKee, 4/100ths of a second faster than Adam Bozzi. So it looks to be a train of draft helping drivers further on in the pack to be just a bit quicker. In the back of that pack, Austin Bloom, Garrett Sidnor, side by side. This is for the 8th position. Austin getting out. Garrett Sidnor going to have to follow the wayside. Kendall Kerr in the wall.
The yellow
flag is out. And that must be a broken axle. Andrew Baker, as a matter of fact, wrecks at the same time. So the yellow does not come out due to Kendall Kerr's slide into the outside wall. Andrew Baker wrecks at the same time. And let's find out what happened. And Baker right in front. Caleb Morrissey getting closing in on by the driver of that 6 machine. Got onto that first line. Morrissey did as well, and Morrissey hardly avoids him. And Andrew Baker goes around. That could have been much worse. Caleb gets through. And we're going to try to get a replay of that because it's a very, very close call on the onboard. And this is coming into the first series of turns 1 and 2. Let's find out what happened. Both wiggle. And a last second maneuver to go all the way high. Works out for Caleb Morrissey. No damage. Quite the risk. And he's going to come down pit road once again. As you can see, the leaders coming through start-finish line. And that was a dodge of the century, perhaps. What certainly feels like that for Caleb Morrissey. As NBLXL says, that was absolutely a dodge. And he made it happen. That Caleb Morrissey machine did. And now down on pit road getting some more service. The 6 machine looking more and more like a clean car. Every single time it comes down. 13 laps in out of 125. Caleb Morrissey getting a saving grace there. Andrew Baker absolutely getting the worst of it. Chad Winstead, 4th position, now laying down the pressure on James McKee. And Winstead having a great second half to this season. 6th in the standings and looking to get just a bit more. His start of the season, while he had a lot of pace, was not able to execute at the finish. Auto Club could have been a surefire top 5, not able to make that one happen due to a wreck very, very late. We are already back once again deciding where every driver lines up. 1 lap to green, the choose rule in effect. Heschel down to the inside once more, and Adam Bozzi down the outside wall, of course, but up compared to Casey Heschel. And Bozzy goes to the high side. Chad Winstead up high, and James McKee down low. And it looks like, thus far, the inside line, the dominating line here in New Hampshire, in the northern part of the country, Loudon, New Hampshire. And Northeast providing some great racing in the modified scene, the NASCAR Cup Series scene. And this time by, we take those NASCAR Cup Series cars, well, it's on the virtual world, and racing, it's absolutely real. Let's get back to it. 14 laps completed. This time by, we will be heading in to lap number 15. The iRacing pace car down and underway. We will get back to the green flag. Green flag is out. We started once again, and Casey Heschel gets a monster jump. Perfect timing. And what a start. He gains 0.3 of a second on that jump. And Adam Bozzy gonna have to fight back, as you already have a little bit of shuffling there in the back of the pack. Kenny Brooks having a little bit of trouble. And the inside line gets it a little squirrely, keeps it safe. And we continue on as Chad Winstead now side by side with Chad Winstead, of course himself, right there with Brad Kress. And Brad Kress making the maneuver. And James McKee right in front of the both of them. And Brad going to go up to the higher side of the second groove while Chad Winstead goes all the way to the third line. Casey Heschel, your leader, has wrecked, and Brad Kress goes around almost. And he does. Yellow flag is out once again. And we have yet another caution on the racetrack. This time by, looks like your leader might have just spun. And let's find out just what happened. This is far from good for Casey Heschel, who's leading the way. And it looks like he doesn't have much damage. We're going to try to check both angles, as we saw two incidents at once. And one of them was, of course, Casey Heschel, and the other with Brad Kress. Let's see what Kress has in store here. Heschel coming across the start-finish line. This happens through the back straightaway here. And we will try to send to the wide-angle shot and try to find out everything. Not just yet. And he gets very, very squirrely off. And so does Brad Kress. By this point, Brad Kress gets hit. And he gets hit by a multitude of drivers as he comes back off the racetrack with no control. Locks it up, hitting the brakes. It's Terry Brooks, and rather Kenny Brooks. And the axle is destroyed on that 29 machine. And that is detrimental to his winning chances. Brad Kress in the top 5. The pit road, as he is one lap down already, taking a load of damage repair can occur. One lap down as well, although it appears he'll be able to get that lap back. Andrew Baker still on the lead lap, and it looks like Casey Heschel is as well, but Heschel will lose a lot of time there. He's down in the 10th position. And last time, when we went to a track of a similar discipline, Casey Heschel was up front at Gateway. And while Gateway, certainly not the same entirely as New Hampshire, it is the same distance, and it provides very similar racing. Casey Heschel out front for the majority of it thus far, but he has fallen back. And the driver of the 49 machine now resides in the 10th position, right in front of Dylan Petit, and that will be yet another caution on the night. I believe that is our third thus far. Adam Bozzy, James McKee, Chad Winstead, Terry Brooks, and Scott Wheeler. Those are your top 5 drivers, as Austin Bloom is in position number 6 in the 3 machine. Garrett Sidnor 7th, Alan Kuhlman in 8th, Jason Harris in 9th, and Casey Heschel in position number 10. While Dylan Petit is in 11th. And the 31 machine, with the Kohler Generator sponsorship, generating some momentum here, trying to move on up, as he has 6-lap-old tires, newer than the remainder of the field in front of him, as the most of this field is on a 19-lap-old set. He's the highest driver to have any tire change thus far when it comes to position, and he might be able to make a few positions here as we get back to the action. The choose rule will be in effect. Adam Bozzy going to lead it off. Let's see what he chooses. And it looks like He'll most likely go down to the inside line. If anything, no, it appears he will stay high. And James McKee will go down to the inside line. McKee gets the inside line, and we'll see whether or not that's an advantage for him. But for Adam Bossie, choosing that outside line shows that he's got something for the outside line. And most of these guys don't have the high line working for him. Chad Winstead going to go up there with Adam Bossie. Terry Brooks in the midst of it. Scott Wheeler making his way up into 5th. Slowly but surely, Scott Wheeler is gaining position and gaining time. We'll see whether or not it's enough to get up front. Still, a lot of time in this race to find out whether or not you got the stuff to win this one. As we are only 20 laps through in the Stadium Scene TV 125. Service and Supply Incorporated representing Terry Brooks tonight. And Brooks having a great run once again, looking to get a victory on the season. Let's see what he's got. Adam Bossie is going to lead the way. Green flag is out. We're back underway. And Adam Bossie, it's a monster start. How about that? Learning from Casey Heschel, we see. And James McKee able to block on the high side. Chad Winstead not able to do much of it just now. A second advantage for the driver of the 27 machine. As the 57 goes to the inside line of Alan Kuhlman. And it looks like he's not going to be able to get right beside Alan just yet. Rodriguez has the momentum to do just that. We'll see whether or not he's capable of doing it now. As the old tires seem to be sweeping up the new wave. And Dylan Petit down to 12th. The guys on older tires getting them warmed up. We have not had a lot of green flag action just yet. Certainly not much reason for now to have the older tires replaced. Terry Brooks now down to the inside. Chad Winstead and Scott Wheeler going to go down to the inside as he is picking and choosing lanes as he pleases. Winstead goes up high. Brooks still fighting down low. And Winstead to the inside here. Still putting in the effort. Second groove action. They're running like the manual. And how about that for the driver of the 23 machine? Chad Winstead, James McKee, Adam Bossie leading the way. And how about it? Once more, Scott Wheeler making his way back up from 5th to 4th. Jason Harris in the 7 machine is in 7th with Alan Kuhlman in the 8 machine in position number 8. Austin Bloom chasing the both of them as side by side and still it is Chad Winstead and Scott Wheeler. Terry Brooks in 3rd as we do have a fight for the lead now. James McKee going down to the inside line on Adam Bossie. And look at him go. McKee down to the inside line. Let's see if we can get this green flag pass for the lead done. Looks like he's got the momentum. And James McKee, new race leader, coming to lap 25 of 125. How about that for the driver of the SB Designs number 9 machine? A great effort so far in putting on a show. McKee is. Chad Winstead right there, right behind the battle with Scott Wheeler and Terry Brooks. Wheeler giving an inch. And of course Brooks giving an inch as well, but that's all they're giving. Just to keep it fair. As they are double file lap after lap, and now we are entering 100 laps to go here in the Magic Mile. And we have a green flag run underway. A great performance. It's getting started. And Scott Wheeler, slowly but surely losing a bit of momentum lap after lap. Terry Brooks in 3rd. And Chad Winstead right behind the both of them as Adam Bossie losing some momentum there. James McKee looks to have that lead in his grasp. Don't count out Bossie just yet. He is far from over when it comes to fighting for this victory. James McKee leads the way 27 laps through. Terry Brooks in 3rd, Scott Wheeler in 4th, Chad Winstead in 5th, Garrett Sidnor in 6th, Harris, Kuhlman, Austin Bloom, and Casey Heschel rounding out the top 10. Heschel not having the pace. His tires might be damaged after his first spin. And James McKee holds on as we have a side-by-side battle for 2nd. Terry Brooks there, getting a bit of a nudge there. Adam Bossie is. And how about we ride on board with the driver of that 23 machine, CBDCs, as he goes through a lap. The green flag action, 28 laps in. And 98 laps remain already, making our way through. And there we have it, Terry Brooks fighting as hard as ever. You can see lunging just a bit more compared to Adam Bossi, as it's going to be a big slide there for James McKee. And using that third group instead of the second does not work out, gets a bit squirrely. And overall, just a bit of a worse line there. Bossi able to get away just a bit. Now, James McKee has some pressure on him. Top 10 guys all organized in a bundle. McKee getting right up there. And Adam Bossi getting to the rear end. And James McKee, side by side now. And Toyota Camry number 27 is far from done battling here. He might have lost the lead, but he's far from lost his spirit. And he will continue to push on. The race goes on. James McKee now has just about a half a car length on Adam Bossi, and Scott Wheeler has made his way up to the third. Where did he come from? He came from the back of the field, and he is here to prove that he's got the pace to be at the front. The 97 machine of Wheeler has made his way up into the podium places. Let's see what he's got now as the two drivers in front of him continue to battle one another. With less than 100 laps to go, already 25 laps through, a fifth of the way and almost a quarter of the way now. We've got a lot of time to determine strategies, but these are short laps, just about a half a minute each. You can get 2 laps done a minute, leaving us with just about 45 minutes of action remaining. And every lap matters when it comes to planning out your maneuvers. A driver like James McKee leading the way knows that every single turn, every single sector matters. And preserving the advantage that you have. As Bossi still chasing down an I Machine. Scott Wheeler coming up to the two hardest drivers to pass all race long. The drivers who run up front, certainly the biggest challenge. A driver like Scott Wheeler, knowing for certain it's going to be a challenge, he'll just have to find a mistake and use it. As it looks like that time I'm going to use a little bit of a different line compared to Adam Bossi, trying to change it up. How about the back of the pack, around the middle of it? Terry Brooks and Garrett Sidnor might go at it. Didnor making maneuvers. And he keeps himself just off of the top 5 on the cusp of it. We'll see whether or not he's able to make his way in and push Terry Brooks out of it. 93 laps remaining. Terry Brooks has some pressure of his own, fighting for the final spot in that top 5. How about Casey Heschel making his way up? Now he's in the 8th position, getting through as Dylan Petit has made his way back up into 9th. The old tires now are fighting some older tires, and Dylan Petit's wearing in quite nicely and might be able to catch up the guys right in front of him as Garrett Sidnor going to go to the high line that time by. He's very high off the track, and momentum is going to carry him into the battle once again, but Alan Cummins seems to have the preserved momentum. Keep Garrett Sidnor off his case. We'll see whether or not the number 50 Crunchyroll machine will be able to hang on, as he looks to be able to hold on side by side very high up the racetrack. And the momentum is being used effectively. And Alan Cummins has himself a battle on his hands. Casey Heschel watching and waiting in the 7th position to perhaps get a position or 2 out of all of this. We'll find out whether or not he's capable of doing so. Time is of the essence. 91 laps to go, and that might seem like a lot. We've already gotten through 35 laps, a good majority of them. Now our green flag laps. We have had a few yellow flag laps. It's still been very, very quick. You start to wonder, how can every decision be made, and how can every decision be made well? These drivers have to think about that. As Casey Heschel thinking about how he can move his way past not 1 but 2 drivers. As Kunman, that time by, gets by Garrett Sidnor. Casey Heschel in the 8th spot. And Dylan Petit in 9th with Austin Bloom in 10th. Jason Harris in position number 11. And Colton Gardner in position number 12. Heschel in the 8th spot. Still chasing down Garrett Sidnor. Might be able to make quick work of him. When he gets down to the back bumper, we'll find out whether or not he has that momentum in store. Adam Bossi in 2nd still. James McKee leading the way. And Scott Wheeler in the 3rd position continues to fight as Terry Brooks in the 5th spot rolls on. And he has a bit of pressure from Alan Koeman. Koeman making his way back up. As the laps continue to wind down, strategy comes into play more and more. And of the guys leading this one, the top 8 drivers, with the exception of Dylan Petit in 9th, the top 10 drivers, 9 of which are on the same set of old tires, 38 laps old to be exact. And a good majority of the drivers down to 12th position are on those older tires, and they seem to be wearing in just fine. As a matter of fact, Alan Koeman in the 5th spot on older tires, getting that position as he gets it just over Terry Brooks, is quicker that time by than Dylan Petit on newer tires by 0.2 of a second. Doesn't appear to be that tire wear is coming into the equation all too much. We'll find out whether or not he's capable of holding on to that speed that he has now. A 31.983 that time for Alan Koeman, and for Dylan Petit, a 32.101. Certainly off the pace compared to the drivers that are in front of him on older sets of Goodyear rubber. James McKee still setting 31.9s right now. Adam Bossi not able to compare as they are side by side. Garrett Sidnor and Casey Heschel. Heschel gets him on the outside line, and the 49 gets past the 50. And that is for position number 7. Scott Wheeler in 3rd in that championship race, of course, ahead of his championship rival of Kendall Kerr. Kendall Kerr not having the greatest of nights just yet, going down on the inside line of Colton Gardner. And getting that spot there, that's going to put him in 13th. Trying to ease the blow of not having a qualifying run. Certainly becoming a disadvantage for him. Now the next driver up is Caleb Morrissey, and Morrissey making a nice recovery from the first incident that he was involved in. It looks like the damage is all but squared away entirely. Of course, no fast repair, but a lot of work to that car has been done. And Morrissey setting a lap now that would equal him out with the driver of Terry Brooks in 6th. He has some decent pace. He might be able to hold on to it as Alan Koeman now going for a side-by-side battle in the 4th spot, as Scott Wheeler goes side-by-side for 2nd on Adam Bossi. Looks like a mistake was made by the 27 machine, and a hole was open. Scott Wheeler going to use that to his advantage. He's a 2nd, and then some back, 1.2 seconds behind the race leader. But Scott Wheeler will be able to make it up to 2nd so long as he holds on to this battle. Don't count out Alan Koeman, who looks to be able to make his way into it as well. These guys hold on, double file for just about a lap or 2 more. We might see a maneuver by Alan Koeman putting him in front of the both of them and keeping himself in the championship hunt. Don't count out the driver of that 8 machine. He's far from done with his business in this battle in the Stadium Scene TV 125. Scott Wheeler now going to have to fall back just a bit. Certainly looked at the opportunity, peeked at the door. But Adam Bossi is slowing, and now he's 1.5 seconds behind. As James McKee is only picking up more and more time. He's the fastest driver on the track by a large margin. And only a few drivers appear to compare. Kenny Brooks actually appears to be within a similar range of speed, according to his last lap. Chad Winstead in this main pack appears to be one of the fastest. Alan Koeman now going to try to make a move on the inside line to Scott Wheeler. And Koeman will do just that. Double file, the AT&T machine, going to be able to slide on through. And he dials in nicely and gets into that 3rd spot. Adam Bossi holds on to 2nd. Scott Wheeler slowly but surely losing a bit of pace. And Winstead in 5th. Heschel making his way up to position number 6. So Casey Heschel absolutely having some good pace tonight. And it looks like qualifying was far from a fluke. He settles in better and better each lap by. Only one driver appears to be faster, and that driver appears to be a bit slower. Last time by, fastest driver on the racetrack, Alan Koeman. Next fastest man appears to be Casey Heschel. Terry Brooks in the mix as well. Garrett Sidnor right alongside him. And with 45 lap old tires, track is getting worn in nicely, and the tires are as well. And it becomes time to consider whether or not tires will come into the equation much later. We'll see whether or not these guys choose to change their tires as the night goes on. It is, of course, up to them. We saw the last race we broadcasted was the Iora Cup Series, and that was with the Next Gens, but it was at the Charlotte Roval. And the winners did not change anything about their tires. As a matter of fact, some kept the entire run on one stint of tires, meaning the 37 laps of Roval race in action were managed under one set 4 tires, a Goodyear rubber, and Alan Cumming going to make his way past Chad Winstead for just a moment. But it looks like now he's falling back big time. Casey Heschel pressuring the driver of the 8 machine. We'll see whether or not Heschel is able to make something of it. 79 laps to go here. And a lot of time to find out whether or not Alan Cumming can come out on top. Chad Winstead can. Scott Wheeler can. Or Adam Bozzi, who appears to be holding steady. James McKee, whether or not he'll be able to make it back up. That time by, though, he was 0.3 of a second slower and looks to be slower, much slower as a matter of fact, in the braking zones. This time by only losing 0.1 of a second. But James McKee has it on lock thus far. And with Terry Brooks in 9th position and Dylan Petit in 10th. Now losing a position, it looks like that will be a lap car, letting a lap car by on newer tires. Dylan Petit is in the middle of the pack entirely, with a 10th position run out of 20 drivers running in the middle of it. It's going to be quite the challenge. You see a lot of guys, lap cars, lead lap cars, potentially if the fuel cycle goes around, he will be within every single one of those battles, as everyone scrambles to try to get up front. Chad Winstead fighting with his teammate there side by side. As a matter of fact, manufacturer teammates. Chad Winstead and Scott Wheeler Jr. are. Not necessarily teammates as in being on the same team, but they represent the Blue Ovals nicely. 3rd and 4th thus far. Chevy leading the bow ties. The Toyota right behind him. You can see right now, top 4 guys spaced out. And how about we take some time and ride on board watching a battle in motion. Alan Cumming seems to be in one. How we ride on board with the driver of that 8 machine and watch from the right rear suspension camera, modified to give us a little bit a better killer view. And you can see how close Alan Cumming is getting to running away from Garrett Sidnall, but Sidnall able to bite back in. Gets a good exit. Alan Cumming does as well. But a lunge from Garrett Sidnall keeps him right in it. Almost off the screen. But the exit does not pay off. The back straight a little draft helps him by a large amount. Garrett Sidnall fights as hard as ever to keep himself in the mix here. Casey Heschel in a battle as well now. Let's watch out more with the driver of the 49 machine. It looks like the 29 there. He's going to get right by him in the 29. Brad Kress, 17 laps down. He is rolling. Austin Bloom pretty far behind him. We've got lap cars with new tires going through the field. Brad Kress being one of them. It's going to shake up the dynamic of strategy here. As James McKee, 52 laps in, is in his own world, leading by 2.5 seconds over Adam Bozzi. Bozzi absolutely waiting for perhaps a reset in the strategy, as no lead lap guys have come down on pit road just yet. We just have a few guys who've been waiting for quite a while to get back into this one. Coming back onto the racetrack with new, or technically new cars, getting all the repairs fixed, and new set of tires, making them the fastest on the racetrack. As the majority of the lead lap drivers are out of a battle. Garrett Sidnall getting close to Alan Cumming, but Brad Kress in the middle of him. And Brad Kress, teammate of Garrett Sidnall, not making life any easier for the driver of the 50 machine. And Kress crowds into that inside line, and Garrett Sidnall losing a lot of time. Bare clean defensive maneuver. Brad Kress was in on that line and able to defend it quite nicely for Alan there. Cumming gets up to Scott Wheeler once more. Brad Kress sort of uses himself as a honing device. It's a big wiggle there for Chad Winstead. Watching every battle of the driver of the 8 machine, and Cumming gets in him. With an attentive eye, Scott Wheeler going to get a little bit of a nudge there from Alan Cumming, and Brad Kress going to go right around him, it looks like. Although it looks like he lets off just a bit there. On the high side, Alan able to get a much better run, using all the momentum to his advantage to keep himself in the midst of it, as now Brad Kress goes down to the inside line in that 29 machine. Yellow flag is out, and this time by, it's for Matthew Rodriguez, who appears to be a lap down. Jason Harris not involved, but Rodriguez absolutely is. Let's find out what happened. And 30-second replay. We're going to get one on the matter here. The 57 sliding it and spinning it out of the course. And able to get it back on track. It appears getting onto the access road and pulling it into pit road. That will cause the yellow. And your yellow flag is back out. 70 laps to go. 56 through out of 125. We're on a pretty good pace here. The yellow flag is back out. And we will have less than 70 to go once we get back to the action. And let's see now, as the entirety of the field, led by James McKee, is on its way. Entries already appear to be completed. Let's find out who's going to get it done on the race off pit road. It's exit time. 69 laps to go. Who's going to get the nicest stop? We're going to wait and see. Backing it down. Looks like our pole sitter, Casey Heschel, coming in right now just a bit later than the guys who are in front of him on the track. And it might not be an advantage to have that pole position stall now for the driver, the 49, who just needed to get in early. And Heschel getting his service. Everyone on a new stand of tires. It's going to be James McKee, Adam Bozzi, Chad Winstead, Scott Wheeler, Alan Cumming, Garrett Sidnor, Ben, Casey Heschel, Bloom, Brooks, Petit, Caleb Morrissey, and finally, to round out this pack, Jason Harris, who come out of pit road all at once. And James McKee is your winner off of pit road. We have a little bit of time here, so we're going to send it to Fireball Talks Nonstop. A few promotions for the great associate sponsors we have on this channel, and you're not going to want to miss it. We hope you enjoy this brief presentation. We'll be back with the racing action uninterrupted in just a moment's notice.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
Just enough time to get the promotions in because the choose rule has concluded and everyone has chosen where they will restart with 67 laps to go, which will become 66 laps to go once we go green again. Let's get back to the action. Going to be a great show to finish this one off. This could be our final green flag run of the night. Who knows? We're almost halfway through already. Led by James McKee, and right beside him, Adam Bozzi, looking to get it done. Let's find out whether or not we'll be able to do just that. iRacing pace car for the final time through turns 3 and 4. We send it off with the green flag action. Double file, no pace car. You know what that means. We're going to be back in action, and we are green, led by James McKee, getting a great start there. And he's off to a good one here. The bow tie back in front. He's got a Toyota on a Ford chasing him. Austin Bloom, Casey Heschel side by side here. Looks to be the most notable battle just yet. Everyone gets through thus far. So we're going to swipe to the front of the pack. Garrett Sidnor side by side with Heschel. This is for 6th. Chad Winstead in 5th. Alan coming in 4th, Scott Wheeler 3rd, Adam Bozzi in 2nd. And the first position is the James McKee machine. With Bozzi chasing him down with 65 laps left. Terry Brooks side by side with Austin Bloom. Dylan Petit is just behind him in the now 10th position. Running top 10. Dylan Bati's been able to do that all race long. Everyone's on new tires now. He might have the advantage here. As when the playing field is equalized, he seems to have a better chance when it comes to running faster laps. Let's see what he's got in store. As James McKee comes across the start-finish line for lap 62. 64 laps left. Cross flags will wave next time by. Garrett Sidnor now going to have to run it very high. Terry Brooks gets by. That's for position number 7. Adam Bossie now within a tenth of a second for just a moment. And side by side just behind him, Alan Kuhlman going to have to go very, very high. Tried to fight off Scott Wheeler. And now Chad Winstead going to try to fight off Alan Kuhlman. And Kuhlman is left up to the high side, but looks like he has just enough momentum to clear himself and get back into the pack. Down to the inside line once more. And Scott Wheeler on a tear this season, but not able to get a win just yet in the past few races. He, of course, has the most wins of this season thus far, leading every driver with 2 wins, 7 top 5s and 7 top 10s coming into this event. And that was through 8 races, only missing 1 top 10 all season long beforehand, and only missing 1 top 5 all season long. He's back in the top 5 once again. And he proves why he continues to be quite the incredible driver in these machines. He's going to bump Adam Bossie right out the way, and Scott Wheeler gets through, and Adam Bossie going to hold off on Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman going to try to get to the inside line now, and it looks like he'll be able to get right there. Alan Kuhlman having a great season of his own as well. Of course, it's only going to be 1 win for the driver. The 8 machine just yet 2 top 5s and 6 top 10s. Nobody is consistent as Scott Wheeler, but Alan Kuhlman, he's pretty close. One of the closest all season long. As a matter of fact, Alan Kuhlman in 3rd now, having a great chance to get some points for his championship hunt. Casey Hesher going to get really close to Adam Bossie there. They all stay clean, all stay green. And while everyone gets closer to one another, James McKee able to run away just a bit until now. Scott Wheeler right to the back bumper for the first time all night long. We'll see whether or not he's able to do something. He was right behind the race leader of Adam Bossie beforehand. Scott Wheeler dealing with a different animal and James McKee here. Will it be an easier animal to tame? We're going to find out. As the SP Designs number 9 machine looking to make it happen. And SP Designs of Asheville, North Carolina, a great supporter of this league as well, and we are glad to have them represented well by the race leader of James McKee, with Scott Wheeler right behind. These guys will fight. Perhaps a little checkered flag if they keep it this way. A little bit of a nudge there. And Scott Wheeler is a bumper to bumper with your race leader. 59 laps to settle it. And up the track they go once again. A formulaic process getting them through every single lap. 59 laps to go, as a matter of fact. And with 6th and 7th right beside one another. Terry Brooks 6th. Chad Winstead 7th. They all hold on nicely. Casey Hesher is now going to be side by side with Alan Kuhlman, trying to get that 4th spot. Going to be able to dive on the inside line and get yet another spot. And Heschel looking to return to the top of the charts. Had a great start. Fall back. He did fall back to the 10th position due to that early on spin. But now it looks like Heschel is in his best form. With new tires on that car and no damage from that spin. The both Designs number 49 machine is on a tear. And Heschel is now going to get right behind Adam Bossie and perhaps make another pass. Alan Kuhlman getting past with ease by the driver of that 49 machine. Side by side, they are not up front just yet. Scott Wheeler waiting for the opportunity to perhaps use a mistake to his advantage. We'll find out if or when he gets that mistake, what he'll do as a response. 97 and the 9 playing with one another. 57 laps to settle it. And it is led by that 9 car. Scott Wheeler looking to get it done for his 3rd win on the season, which will be the highest of the season. The majority of the drivers still trying to fight it. And still fighting Scott Wheeler. They all are. Apologies for the slight interruption there. And James McKee on his way. Looks like a little bit of a miscommunication with the voice chats. We'll we are back on our way. Jason McKee still fighting hard, and how will we ride on board with the Scott Wheeler machine just a moment there, side by side, and now Scott Wheeler going to be able to make the powerful move, and look at him go. Up to the high side, Jason McKee is Scott Wheeler, your new race leader. And Adam Bozzi now fighting for second. And it's a side-by-side affair for just a moment. Jason McKee able to slot in nicely in second, as Adam Bozzi in the third position fights hard. AC Heshu in fourth, Terry Brooks in fifth, and Chad Winstead in position number 6. As Alan Kuhlman still in the mix as well, but he looks to be falling back just a bit now. As Garrett Sidnor and Austin Bloom at a very, very similar pace. Caleb Morrissey rounds out the top 10, recovering nicely.
The yellow flag is out.
We have a yellow flag out once again. And this one appears to be a big one. Dylan Petit in. Andrew Baker looks to be afflicted as well. Let's try to find out what happened once more. 53 laps to go. And sending it back a lap on the replay. Wide angle going to show that Andrew Baker went around, and that is what caused your yellow. Baker comes back up the racetrack. Looks like nobody's going to be able to hit him. As Baker back straight again. And that is your yellow flag. Andrew Baker down and around. And the number 43 machine has quite a bit of damage. He's still rolling in the 14th spot nonetheless. And I believe now Matthew Rodriguez will be able to get his lap back. We'll find out whether or not that is the case. With 53 laps left. We are 73 laps through this event. It looks like the guys on the front of the pack not going to go down, but Jason McKee choosing to do just that. 17-lap-old set of tires for Scott Wheeler and Casey Heschel. Remainder of the pack goes down. Let's see what they have in store. And let's see who wins the race off pit road once again. Chad Winstead close to the pole position stall that time by. Still have a few drivers going around. Dylan Petit on his way. And this time by Allen. He's not going to be the one who wins it. It's going to be Adam Bozzi, then James McKee, then Chad Winstead getting it over Alan Goodman, Terry Brooks, Garrett Sidnor, Caleb Morrissey, and Austin Bloom. I think actually Austin Bloom gets it by just a nose. And then Jason Harris and Colton Gardner. A very, very close call. And it looks like that battle does go in the favor of Austin Bloom over Caleb Morrissey. A very close call. And pit road proving its worth once again. Every position matters. And while Caleb Morrissey does gain one spot, he was just about a foot or two away from gaining second. A very, very close call. The driver, the 6 machine, and he is back in the top 10 for certain. From last to 9th. And he still has the pace to keep going. Morrissey and Bloom making their way up. Chad Winstead in 5th. James McKee in 4th. Adam Bozzi in 3rd. Casey Heschel 2nd. And Scott Wheeler leading the way. And Scott Wheeler on his way. Perhaps a 3rd victory. If he keeps up this pace, we'll find out whether or not he's capable of doing just that. A great start. And let's see if he can finish it off as great as he has been running. AC Heschel and Adam Bozzi round out your podium places with James McKee in 4th, Chad Winstead in 5th. And a great night of action. And the Magic Mile providing some magic racing. Garrett Sidnor in 7th here with Alan Kuhlman in 6th. It's been a very tight battle between these guys on the cusp of the top 5 all night long. And it proves to be an exciting one to watch every single time by. Scott Wheeler now on the high side. Casey Heschel on the inside. And 50 laps to settle it. At a 125, the Stadium Scene TV 125 has been putting on a great show. We'll find out whether or not it finishes off in the style that it began. This race, we must wait and see. Now, we only have a total of 2 retirements, 19 cars, in the time-made scoring loop are on the track, but only 18 are on the surface. Kenny Brooks is behind Dylan Body, and Body is off the track. 19 cars are in competition for now. And we'll see whether or not Dylan Body gets past or if he returns to the surface. Scott Wheeler going to lead him back. 50 laps to go. Let's get back at it. Wheeler with a monster start once more. And Casey Heschel gets a good one as well. Heschel, the dominator of these early starts. And Casey Heschel back up. He might be able to get a victory this time by the dominator of this series versus the driver who has some monster pace tonight. A specialist versus the general controller. Let's see who gets it done. As Adam Bosio right behind the both of them. And Wheeler gets it that time by 49 laps to go, and he has the advantage coming out of the fourth turn. Will he have the advantage coming out of the fourth turn? Next time by, he might. Scott Wheeler not prone to many mistakes, as Heschel has pressure from two drivers. And Alan Kerman and Adam Bossi are right behind him. Let's watch the rear view camera and watch two drivers fight for one spot that's ahead of the both of them. No contact us yet. Bossi still dead even with Alan Kerman right behind both Bossi and Kerman. And nudge is going to be given by James McKee, keeping in the mix there from his teammate and Alan Kerman. And a bit of a wide dive there for Hampshire. Will he be able to hold on? It looks like he's side by side now. Alan Bossi is going to watch and wait. And a hard clear. He makes it happen though. Casey Heschel does. And Heschel back up there as he gets a bit of a nudge. Gets one nudge, nothing more. He keeps it tapped out. And Heschel holds on for now. And it's a very close ordeal. Here's the nose camera. It looks like he actually goes within the nose. And that camera not too accurate. You can't really do that in real life. Yellow flag's out though. We have yet another caution. Let's find out what happened. 46 laps to go. And Alan Kerman not involved. But we do have a little bit of a scramble here. Let's find out why. And it appears Andrew Baker in the 43 might have been involved in that one. You see the 43 did get a much slower. Baker struggling tonight. It looks like this time the wreck happened far in front of where he was, and we're going to try to find out why. And there we have it. It looks like our culprit is the Alan Kerman machine. A big time spin for Alan there. And let's try to find out why that happened. Take it back 10 seconds to try to see what caused it. And Kerman looks he got to the side of Bossi, then gets tapped around by Chad Winstead. Keeps it straight. Loses a load of positions down to 12th now with Kendall Kerr right behind him. And 45 laps to go. He's going to place Alan Kerman down in 12th for what was a top 5 running position. Scott Wheeler leads the way for the remainder of the field. Casey Heschel is in the second position, and James McKee in third. Adam Bossi fourth. Caleb Morrissey is in fifth, and Chad Winstead is in position number 6. And 7th is the Garrett Sitnor machine, the number 50, doing a great job. Terry Brooks is in 8th, and Austin Bloom is in 9th. And rounding out the top 10, it is the driver of Jason Harris in the 7 machine, doing a great job as well. All these guys really pushing to the limit here. Caleb Morrissey, how about that? Up to the top 5 from dead last in this one. And he's shooting for much more than that. He's got some good pace. His pace within a tenth of a second of the best of them. And he is up there, the highest he has been all race long. He might be able to prove some doubters wrong here, as this is the best we've seen him run all season. And just not able to capitalize at the tail end of it time after time. But this time, Caleb Morris, you might have a trick under his sleeve that we haven't seen just yet. He's up there, and he's looking to be up there toward the end of it. And it's going to be Scott Wheeler staying up high for now, as we have not chosen lines just yet. Scott Wheeler on a tear this season, looking for win number 3, but Casey Heschel looks to be the fastest man here tonight. We'll find out whether or not he's able to use much more than what he has given so far. Given quite a lot. We're going to find out whether or not he can give just a bit more. Scott Wheeler has some pace that we were not aware of beforehand. But now it appears a new element is played into this one, and it is the tire life. Two drivers on 26-lap old tires. There's James McKee, who's on 9-lap old tires, and the remainder of the field on 9-lap old tires or even younger than that. And we'll see whether or not, with 43 laps to go, James McKee will be able to hold on. Casey Heschel is in second. Scott Wheeler in first. And coming around to the start-finish line once again, swerving just a bit now as they come to decide where they will start this one. Choose rule in effect. Heschel to the inside, Wheeler to the outside. And the remainder of the field goes as follows. We got an inside-outside with the 9 on the outside, 27 on the inside. Morrissey to the outside, Winstead to the inside, and Garrett Sidnor to the outside with Terry Brooks to the inside. And you can see the inside favored by some, not favored by others. Toby Wedgwood catching up now, 16th position right now. And he is slowly but surely reeling into the times of the leaders here. First race all season, getting into the grip of it. And running better and better time after time, getting better with more experience in the car. First time he's driven these next gens since it is the first season the Highlight Racing League has used the next gens in competition. But surely a learning curve for the driver of the 52. Let's see whether or not he's able to hold on. And let's see whether or not Scott Wheeler holds on to this race lead. The iRacing pace car is in, and we are green again, led by Scott Wheeler. Let's get back into the action. 42 laps to go. We are back in swing, and it's going to be the swing of things for Casey Heschel. Get right back, fighting for that race lead. Apologies, appears that the microphone has gone out there, and we are not aware of what has occurred. Trying to find out why that happened, and we just caught that. Our apologies. Scott Wheeler leading the way, and it looks like something might have happened and it might have been tampered with. As James McKee in the second position with Casey Heschel in third, Caleb Morrissey in fourth, Chad Winstead in fifth, and Terry Brooks in sixth. As the battle rages on here, I guess we can consider that a crank it up that we didn't announce. How about that? We're going to get a real crank it up in just about 16 laps time, but Scott Wheeler holding on, and he's putting up a great fight here. James McKee in a 9-car second. And Scott Wheeler, we were stating beforehand, and unfortunately it wasn't caught on air, that this man has been on a tear looking for win number 3. Strategy got him his second at Charlotte. That was an incredible performance. In Auto Club, he showed off the bat. He was here for a reason, to fight for every victory. And Wheeler looking to prove it once again. 37 laps to go. He leads by 0.3 of a second. Caleb Morrissey on pace, now in the 4th position, doing a great job. And looks like he's going to get a little squirrely there. That's going to go to Chad Winstead this time by. And from the back of the field, he's gotten his damage repaired. He's got the pace to hold on. And Chad Winstead having a great run as well, holding up in the top 5 all race long. And 2 drivers with the same car, the Ford Mustang. 2 entirely different races. They end up fighting for the exact same position after 90 laps of action. And both fight right in front. Terry Brooks and right behind Casey Heschel, defending on the both of them. As Heschel looking to get it done. Big wiggle there for Caleb Morrissey. And Chad Winstead going to have to back off just a bit, but they still fight. With that position, it's a dogfight here. And no wreck. And it's a miracle of car control that both of them are able to keep it together there. But Terry Brooks watches and could have gotten 2 positions out of that one. No incident though, as it's going to be James McKee fighting with Scott Wheeler. This is a side-by-side maneuver. Fighting up front. And Morrissey watches and waits for any opportunity to get to Heschel. Chad Winstead gets yet another opportunity to go right by the driver of the 6 machine. We'll see whether or not he's able to take it. He does without time. AC Heschel still holds on. As the battle's in the back of the pack, we're going to check on them. It looks like right now Toby Wedgwood on the track, still going. Colton Gardner, Andrew Baker, Matthew Rodriguez fighting with Kendall Kerr. Kendall Kerr not having the best of nights. He is in the 9th position. And now fighting with his teammate Alan Cummins in the 8th position. Austin Bloom holding it consistently right there with the back of the leading pack. Caleb Morrissey still fighting for 4th. And Casey Heschel holding up. Chad Winstead with that time by a big slide. And Morrissey knowing just to keep the position he has here. And Terry Brooks going to try to get him that time. 33 laps to go. And we got a little bit of contact there. Big contact! Chad Winstead around, and that's not going to work out. Yellow flag is out once again. And certainly, what was a small bit of contact became something much larger. And let's find out what happened once more. And 30-second replay on the matter. And Winstead made a major dive for the position. He gets right up to the side of Casey Heschel. And a door bang gone wrong. Yellow flag is out. And Winstead's able to save it. And from the front of the field to the back of it, Chad Winstead falls once more. And down to 12th. He's got a lot of pace. We'll see whether or not he goes for tires. But he might need them. With all the smoke that we saw coming out of that number 10 machine, a new set might be what saves him. As we see the leaders come down pit road for what could be the final time, except for James McKee on a 20-lap-old set. Scott Wheeler comes down, and let's see what he has in store as the remainder of the field comes down with him. And the race leader of James McKee holds on. Pit lane, it's open. And let's see who wins the battle off pit road. A lot of guys choosing to stay out. And it might have been the less popular decision to come in. Let's see who gets it done. Scott Wheeler leading the charge. Casey Heschel there as well. Chad Winstead, Alan Kuhlman. And coming off of pit road that time by, it will be the advantage to Heschel, then Scott Wheeler, then Caleb Morrissey. And then Austin Bloom, Chad Winstead, and finally Alan Kuhlman. Not gone off pit road just yet. James McKee leading, Terry Brooks in the 2nd spot, and Kendall Kerr in position number 3. A great job by all 3 drivers. Kendall Kerr playing the strategy game quite nicely, and it might play out in his favor overall, as he certainly has had the pace of the top drivers all night. Just has not been able to show it. Now, giving himself the opportunity to present what he has, the remainder of the field. We'll see whether or not he's able to use it to his advantage now. 31 laps to go, and it will become 30 laps to go. Presented live on FTN. If you do enjoy the show, be sure to like and subscribe. It is always greatly appreciated. Every bit of support means the world to us, and it truly helps us continue to go week after week. We couldn't do it without you, and we certainly hope that we make your Thursday nights as great as you all make mine. And the team that works together to make these productions possible, it's an incredible effort here. And we love to get it done together, making it happen, presenting these great drivers. And right now, one great driver leads the rest in James McKee, that 9 machine, holding on. Nobody quicker, just yet. Garrett Sidnor appears to be a recent retiree, 6 laps down now in the 15th position. Not working out for him. Dylan Petit got a lot of damage as well. And he is still fighting that damage. And no end. James McKee going to be able to use the choose rule to his advantage here. And up to the high side, James McKee goes. Terry Brooks down to the inside. It looks like that's going to be how it rolls out. As Kendall Kerr goes high and a few drivers go high as well. This will allow Scott Wheeler to come all the way up. And Wheeler comes back into play. in fourth. And this changes everything, as drivers such as Morrissey, Heschel, Austin, Bloom, Colton, Gardner all come back into play here. The difference in attitude when it comes to putting themselves on the inside line and putting the older tires on the outside. Let's see how it works out. Jason McKee and Terry Brooks will lead the field back to green, predominantly led by the driver of the Night Machine. Well, let's get back at it. 29 laps to go here. Kobe Wedgwood up to 11th position. How about that for the returning driver? But the iRacing pace car is away, and we will be led once again by the car number 9. Here we go. Green flag is out. Major jump by Kendall Kerr to work with James McKee. But McKee gets the ball rolling for everyone. And a great start by James McKee. Terry Brooks able to hold on as well. And it's these two drivers pulling away from the remainder of the field for now. Scott Wheeler showing them all who's boss when it comes to the team of new tire drivers. And he's going to get right by Kendall Kerr with ease if he's able to make it happen this time by. But Kerr holds on, and these tires got to warm up. Kendall Kerr not having to worry about that. Almost gets clear. As a matter of fact, does get clear, but does not go down on the inside line. As he fights side by side, Kayla Morrissey, big wiggle. Will that be a spin? It looks like it will not be. And Kayla Morrissey going to lose an awful lot of positions once again, down into 13th. Tumultuous day, and it just gets a little more rocky. No caution for Kayla Morrissey as he does not spin that car out. And Kendall Kerr losing a lot of position now, but James McKee has been given a great amount of room. 0.3 of a second for Scott Wheeler to claw down if he wants win number 3. Casey Heschel on his way now. Terry Brooks losing a lot of time here, getting quite slippery with that car. And Kendall Kerr backing down to the inside line, trying to make something happen here. Will he be able to do so? We will find out. It looks like right now it's Wheeler and James McKee controlling the show. And nobody else even close. Austin Bloom going to go down to the inside line on Kendall Kerr. Matthew Rodriguez going to have the same happen to him. But Chad Winstead making it happen. Gonna have a maneuver perhaps placed on Scott Wheeler. Yes, he has a maneuver placed on him. It's a big tap, and he saves it. And he still leads for just a moment. Casey Heschel gets it. It's a major save for James McKee, and we've got a new race leader. It's the 49. We're gonna have to replay that entirely. What a save by the driver of the Night Machine. Oh my goodness. He's not gonna be happy about that one, but I'm telling you what, that save is incredible. And let's find out what happened once again. Setting it back 40 seconds to see what happened here. Watching the handwork as he gets set right in. Holds on to it nicely. And backs it down. Scott Wheeler gets right by, still in second. Jason Key still in fourth. What a save. Looks like just a mistake breaking in. And Wheeler gives a lot of room to James McKee. McKee now falling down to 5th. And that allows Casey Heschel to get back out front. Scott Wheeler still chasing. As a major save by Jason McKee keeps this race under green, and 22 laps to go. You know what that means. TrackCams22.com's own Crank It Up. TrackCams22.com, the best cameras on the iRacing service. TrackCams for Gormans if you want to use them. Link is in the description. We hope you enjoy this brief Crank It Up. Let's get to it. And continuing to chase down the race leader, Casey Heschel. Scott Wheeler fighting so hard all race long, but Heschel looks to have the advantage now. The driver of the 49 machine making a great run so far, and now with 18 laps to go, he could settle this one in just a few minutes time. If he keeps it on the track the way he's done, he is absolutely on his way to what could be his maiden victory this season. Scott Wheeler, Austin Bloom in third now, as Wheeler, that time by, only appeared a few hundredths of a second faster. Alan Kuhlman getting by Terry Brooks. James McKee falling back into seventh. And Scott Wheeler, 17 laps left. Get back up front. It's going to be quite the challenge for the driver of the 97 machine, of course, losing that lead in that 3-wide moment with James McKee and Casey Heschel. Heschel getting it done at the end of the day, getting up front, getting to the lead. Comes out the winner of that battle. But we will see whether or not he's got what it takes to hold on, as that time by absolutely gains some time on Scott Wheeler. And he gains about a tenth of a second. And the battle rages on. How about a battle that's a little bit closer? How about the middle of the pack here? Chad Winstead looks to be about a half second out of Austin Bloom. But the closest battle on the racetrack is Kendall Kerr right now and James McKee. McKee certainly falling down the running order, and Kendall Kerr is going to watch as his wiggling teammate lets him by. Not a lot of car control there. And Caleb Morrissey going to be able to make another position back, getting himself back up into 8th. As James McKee continues to try to fight, keep that car in contention. Morrissey appears to be quicker, and will get him if he's able to. That time by, defended upon. Third groove being used, but McKee slows down big time. And they're double file once more. Caleb Morrissey going to be able to get the advantageous position for that one. And he gets it through. Clean in. It's a done deal if he can hold on. We'll see whether or not he's capable of doing just that. He is very close to 6 and the 9 side by side. And the 6 gets the better of him. Morrissey now up to 8th. Now going to try to chase down Kendall Kerr. We'll see whether or not he's able to do just that. James McKee losing more and more time here. It's going to be crunch time to see able to make something happen. Right now, it's crunch time for any driver around him, trying to crunch the numbers, crunch the statistics and the tire wear, see how much they can get off of him. He's a driver like Andrew Baker, while it's been an up and down night, still in the top 10, and might be able to pull off a perhaps a final lap upset, get a position out of him. It's Casey Heschel now looks to be on a Sunday drive to be exact here, as he is currently leading by 7/10 of a second. Now Morrissey is up into the 7th spot, and now, how about that? He looks to be having a third driver he can chase down. Morrissey is on a tear, and he is going to make yet another pass on the inside line. Caleb Morrissey, he seems to be running hot right now, going from what was the 9th position to 6th. And he's going to get it that time by. How about that? Caleb Morrissey, 2 passes in 1 lap. And he's fighting hard. And he'll see whether or not he can fight hard enough to get to Alan Kuhlman. That would be an accomplishment and then some. Get back up to the top 10 following yet another incident from 12th now to 6th. As Chad Winstead goes side by side with Austin Bloom, getting the better of Bloom that time by. It's far from over though. 12 laps left. And now it's going to be 11. With Casey Heschel leading by a second over Scott Wheeler. And Scott Wheeler getting another nice batch of security points. If he's able to finish where he is now. Of course, it ain't over till it's over. And we'll see whether or not the race changes with 1 green-white checker. The maximum attempts we can have, of course, only 1. Meaning our maximum race length is in the 128-lap ballpark. As James McKee goes side by side with Kendall Kerr. Kerr now losing a lot of time as he is on very, very old set tires. McKee as well. McKee actually having the oldest set of tires, 41 laps. So 10 to go. These two are going to fight one another as they are teammates looking for championship points where they can find them. Terry Brooks losing his time here as Kendall Kerr is getting into the wall there. Dabbles into just a bit. Keeps it going. Alan Kuhlman on his way. Fighting now with Austin Bloom. Looks to be losing just a bit of position. Perhaps Caleb Morrissey can make something out of these two. And most likely will make something out of Austin Bloom, who seems to be losing some time, perhaps due to some tire wear, as Bloom on the same set of tires when it comes to the age as Alan Kunman, might just be managing them just a bit differently. We'll see whether or not that is the case. Whether or not it's a driver error that has been causing Austin to lose such time. As it stands, Scott Wheeler reeling in the driver of Casey Heschel just a bit, 0.8 of a second. The deficit between the two drivers. And we will see whether or not Wheeler has got what it takes. Casey Heschel on a tear. Alan Kunman in 4th. Austin Bloom 5th. Morrissey in position number 6. And Terry Brooks in 7th. James McKee in 8th. 9th is Kendall Kerr with Matthew Rodriguez rounding out your top 10 now. As Andrew Baker appears to have fallen back by a second. And Matthew Rodriguez gets by as Kerr is falling back further and further. Caleb Morrissey is definitely quicker than Austin Bloom. Might it be enough? We will find out. He has gained about a half second over 5 laps, but that might not be enough to settle it with 7 laps to go. Unless there's a major mistake out of the Austin Bloom camp. He seems to be locked into the top 5 so long as he keeps it on the racetrack now. How do we go a lap on board with Casey Heschel and see how he does it? How he does it, as a matter of fact. And the yellow flag is out. That changes everything once again. 7 laps to go. And we will have one final dash to the finish. And this one involves Matthew Rodriguez, who's still spinning. Let's find out what happened. 30-second replay on the matter. Matthew Rodriguez was in 10th, now down into position number 12. And it looks like lost control of it. Andrew Baker avoids. Kenny Brooks avoids as well. And gets it straightened back out. And rolling on his way once again, 6 laps to go. He still has a bit of trouble keeping it together there. Dylan Petit now only 2 laps down. And Rodriguez in 12th. Loses quite a few positions. It doesn't look like he has all too much damage. It might just be a tire wear issue. And we will see whether or not the drivers up front come down for a pit stop. Caleb Morrissey, the last of 4 drivers not to do so. Casey Heschel and everyone on down chooses to do just that. We will see whether or not Casey is able to get it off on the pit road line. He's closest to the exit line as is. Scott Wheeler coming down, but it's going to be Casey Heschel getting it done over Wheeler. Then Terry Brooks. Then James McKee, Kendall Kerr. And then the Andrew Baker machine with a few drivers still remaining, including Colton Gardner. But Chad Winstead leads the way now. With 5 laps to go, the race has fallen into his hands. We'll see whether or not he's able to keep it there. The 26-lap-old set of tires to make a break time for the driver of the 10 machine. We'll find out whether or not he has what it takes now. And Kunman in the number 8 machine back up in 2nd. And this is about the most intense this race has been all night long. There's a multitude of drivers from a multitude of sort of strategy calls being up here. 4 drivers with 27-lap-old sets of tires are still fighting as hard as ever here. However, the remainder of the field is on a set of tires exactly 1 lap old. And you know what that means. It's time to have some strategies clash and some tendencies in driving merge with one another and have some drivers mesh. And let's see who comes out the best driver when it comes to that final fight. Going to take a lot from every one of these guys. 4 laps to go. And what we're looking at is a natural green-white checkered. That's 4 to go now. We will come back to the race with 3 laps to go. Rather come to the choose rule with 3 laps to go. And from there on out, it will be a 2-lap dash to the finish. Led not by Alan Kunman in 2nd, but by Chad Winstead. Let's see what position he grabs and what he will be taking in order to get the victory here for himself and for his team. As Winstead, the independent driver, going to take it up high, taking the high road one last time. We'll see whether or not he's got what it takes here. As Alan Kunman goes to the inside, Caleb Morrissey in 3rd goes to the inside as well, and Morrissey back again in potential winning contention. 3 laps, which will become 2, to settle this one. And I don't think anyone expected to see a driver like Morrissey, who was absolutely in a destroyed car at the beginning of this race, fighting up front. I don't think anyone expected to see Alan Kuhlman, after sliding off in that final green flag run, to be back up front. I don't think that anyone expected to see Chad Winstead leading this race with 3 to go, given how long Casey Heschel was the race leader. Heschel down to 12th now. It would take a miracle him to be back up front. Alan Kuhlman, Chad Winstead, one last time. Green white checker in effect. We are back again. Green flag Wixon lets you get it done. 3 wide, almost there, as Alan Kuhlman going to let Chad Winstead through. Caleb Morrissey there as well. Morrissey going to be able to get there on the inside line of Alan Kuhlman. Let's give it all you got time or give nothing. Let's go big, go home, and Winstead right there as Morrissey fighting as hard as ever. Caleb still in 4th. Scott Wheeler is in 3rd. And Wheeler, we've seen he's not afraid to punt someone out of the way, even if it is a mistake. Door banging, 3 wide. White flag is out. Next flag ends it. And Chad Winstead has a rear view mirror full of Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman getting it right to him. Just a bit of a tap, and now Scott Wheeler's got the opening. Wheeler down to the inside line. Double file for 2nd. This could be the maneuver that changes it. Winstead leading for now. Big lunge or no lunge. No lunge. And it's going to be Wheeler fighting as hard as ever. Brooks is going to go around. Terry Brooks going to take nobody else out but Chad Winstead. Coming out of the final turn, Caleb Morrissey wrecks, but it's going to be Chad Winstead winning the Stadium Scene TV 125. How about that? And what a performance. Wheeler in 2nd, and Caleb Morrissey, already out of the car, is in 3rd. What a show. And what a performance. It's an all-Ford podium led by this man in win number 2 for Chad Winstead, coming home with yet another great batch of championship points. And Winstead's coming to his own in the second half of this season. One to watch as we head into 2023. And Winstead burning it down for Queen City Racing. How about that? And a celebration he won't forget, winning on the Magic Mile. A memorable moment for any driver who was able to get it done. And Chad Winstead is just that driver tonight. Looks to have it parked. And it looks like now we can get on our way and begin to interview the driver who gets it done again in magic fashion at the Magic Mile. You win the Stadium Scene TV 125. How you feeling after that?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. It's good to get back in victory lane so soon. A little tired, a little sweaty. Had a little bit of an unfortunate incident where we got turned late in the race, and I thought that was going to be it. And we were battling hard, me and KC up there, trying to get on his inside, and we made contact and got around and was able to persevere and get back up to the front.
Absolutely able to get back up front at the tail end of it. 30 lap all tires, and it looks like not pitting was the way to go for your strategy here tonight, and it paid off in dividends. Do you think that's the deciding move that got you the victory?
Yeah, definitely. I fought hard to get back up to third place there, and then those guys still had a set of tires and came down pit road, and I actually was out of tires for the race. We had 3 sets, and after that spin, I came down and got my 3rd set, so I couldn't even pit it if I wanted to, and it turns out it worked out. I think I would have stayed out anyway, but it worked out.
How about that strategy playing in your favor? And through that final restart, very, very close contention between every driver. Was there any doubt in your mind about getting that victory done, or do you think by the point you got out front, you had it from there?
Yeah, well, I knew we had a little bit of a gap to those guys with new tires, and I felt pretty good if I could just run my line. It's a little bit hard to pass. So, you know, I felt pretty good, especially with it only being 2 laps to go. I think if it was any more, then Scott may have given me a run for my money there on the new tires. But yeah, I felt pretty confident once I saw those guys come down pit road. I did not think I was going to get the win otherwise. I think I was probably going to settle for 3rd. So I'm thankful that they did.
Absolutely getting that victory at the end of the day here in New Hampshire, but next week it will be Atlanta, and I'm believing that it will be the old configuration of Atlanta. We will see about that, not confirmed on the paper that I have here, but Atlanta next week. Do you think you'll be able to get another victory on the season and perhaps become the leader of wins in this season next week?
I sure hope so. I felt like last week kind of slipped through my fingers again. The pit road opened up at a weird time last week, right as I was passing it. And if I could have got the car slowed down and got down pit road, I would have been right up there with Poteet, 1st and 2nd last week. So I was a little upset. And but yeah, Atlanta is going to be the new configuration, I do believe. So it's a little bit of a wild card. It's going to be a crazy race. I think I'm just going to try to survive. I actually haven't ran the new race surface yet, so just try to survive and be up near the front towards the end there. I want to be in 2nd or 1st there, coming to the white.
Absolutely a wild card coming in next week, but absolutely another great performance from Chad Winstead, and that 10 machine keeps on rolling. Win number 2 on the season. Thank you for your time. Chad Winstead, any final thoughts?
I just want to thank everybody out there, my teammates over at Queen City Racing. Unfortunately, Adam had a connection error. I hate it for him. He was really quick tonight, and he's had a string of bad luck the last 2 weeks. So shout out to those guys at QCR, and shout out to my wife and any friends and family that are watching. And thank you for putting this broadcast on.
Absolutely. Chad Winstead getting it done tonight in magic fashion. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And there we have it. That is the driver getting it done here, Chad Winstead in the 10. How we get onto the driver in 2nd tonight, runner-up, and it looks like you were up front all throughout this one from start to finish. Scott Wheeler, how are you feeling after that one?
Not bad. A little disappointed. I would have liked the win. Tough strategy call to make at the end, but good points night overall. I was pretty confident coming in here, so I'm just happy to come out and have a good night.
Absolutely a good night for the 97 overall, keeping it up front, and it looks like tire strategy played it much differently than a majority of the field, or rather, a minority of the field, as the majority came down to that final stop. Do you think that changed the way you could have finished when it came to the final results of tonight's event?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have gone either way. I wasn't sure how many people would follow KC, and, I'd already kind of been burned once on a pit cycle, so didn't want to take the chance. I ended up getting pretty good track position after that anyway. I think Casey got a speeding penalty. Not that it really mattered. He was right back up there. But, yeah, I think it could have gone either way. Like I said, it's a tough call to make. I tried everything I could there. But, in the end, we'll take the points for 2nd.
Absolutely. Taking the points for 2nd position here tonight, but next week will be Atlanta. How are you feeling going to that one? Because I've been told by Chad Winstead that will most likely be on the new configuration. Certainly a different style of racing compared to the majority of the season.
Yes, I believe it is on the SuperSpeedway configuration. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't run that track, with the new layout on any car, really. So it was important tonight to just build a good points cushion going into that, not knowing what's going on. We have a history of a really good turnout for restrictor plate races. We have some really good races when we run there, but that just makes it that much more, painful if you end up wrecking out early. So it's about playing the strategy, keeping it clean, and then, finishing off the final stretch of the season.
The final stretch of the season coming very, very soon, but Scott Wheeler prepared for it. Yet another very solid finish and a great points night. Runner-up here in this race. The Stadium Scene TV, 125. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates. Scott couldn't be here tonight. He was off celebrating something else. So I wish you were here, Scott. Hope you were watching. We tried to put on a good show for you. Austin and Caleb, I mean, those guys, they helped me out a lot. And at the, that last restart, they helped me out throughout the race. Just really good team chemistry. I love racing with those guys. We really work together well. And then Kendall and Toby for putting it on. Really good to see Toby out here again racing with us. So we'll move on to the next 3 weeks or the final 3 weeks of the season and see if we can get the championship.
Absolutely looking for that title this season, doing a great job of it. Scott Wheeler, thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
And there we have it. How about our final driver on the podium placement tonight? An up and down race, but it looks like it ended up on a high note. Rounding out the podium, Caleb Morrissey, how you feeling?
It's a relief. I didn't think I'd be interviewing with you at all this season, so it's pretty cool because it was a really bad race for me for a long time, and there at the end it just kind of turned around due to strategy and just surviving, so I'll take that.
And it looks like strategy and survival, that was the name of the game. 30-lap old tires, but it seems like you weren't any slower there on that final run, able to get across the stripe in third and getting your damage repaired from a very early incident and able to avoid quite a few others. And that is the name of the game for you. How was it doing all that and then some, getting you up front?
It was just a roller coaster of emotions the whole race. It just was, I feel comfortable. Well, let me take that back. I started off lap 2 and spun myself right away. So the goal was to not wreck myself this week. Didn't accomplish that. We'll go for that one next week, but we just kept our head down, kept in it. I was surprised I didn't have that much damage after that first one because it looked like we took pretty good contact wherever we got hit, and just was able to survive from there and just keep kind of chugging along. And I almost wrecked a couple more times. I think I about lost it about as much as you could lose it without losing it a couple times. So I'm excited to be on podium. It feels great. There were a couple incidents that I would definitely take back, and there on that last restart sitting in third, I almost thought for a second, like, wow, there was a chance that I could win this race, but it just didn't work out that way. But I'll definitely take a third.
Absolutely taking a turn and able to use this race of attrition to your advantage. And next week at Atlanta, I believe it will be the Super Speedway configuration. So going to be a much different challenge compared to the remainder of the season. How are you feeling going to that one?
Yeah, it's Super Speedway, so it's a total wild card. Anybody can win it. Anybody can have a great race, and it can go wrong real quick. So hopefully we just don't wreck ourselves or get involved in any wreck. And I think the war of attrition will help guide us to a win or at least another podium. And hopefully we're going to keep going on that way because I have never had such a god-awful season in my life in racing.
Well, nonetheless, able to pick it back up today, getting third here tonight. Any final thoughts before we leave this one off?
I just want to thank my teammates so much and their support. I couldn't have done it without them. They just keep me in it. Anywhere else, I probably could have been fired or easily let go to free agency, and nobody would have batted an eye, but these guys stick with me. We got a really great group here at Four Horsemen. I appreciate the Scotts, Austin, and Dylan so much. They're so supportive. And my family, as always, for watching, my friends, my co-workers. I appreciate all of you, Kira team. They're always in the comments whenever we're in this race, so I appreciate them and their viewership, and I appreciate everybody's support. We stick with it, and hopefully we keep going with this momentum.
Absolutely. Caleb Morrissey, the Six Machine, rounds out the podium here tonight. Thank you for your time.
Oh yeah, P.S. Welcome back, Toby. Good to see you out there, buddy.
And how about that? That is your podium procedure here tonight. Let's get on with your racer results. What a show put on tonight. And it was a magic finish there. And it was a magic finish especially for the man who gets it done. It is Chad Winstead winning his second race of the season. And he's going to tie Scott Wheeler for the leader of wins this season. How about that? Winstead wins over Scott Wheeler. Caleb Morrissey, your podium procedure, of course, having all three. And Casey Hesher, your pole sitter, is ended up as a finisher number 4. Allen coming rounds out the top 10, or rather the top 5s. The top 10 is not rounded out by Chevy in the Blacktop Racing Organization. Terry Brooks in 6th, Andrew Baker 7th, Kendall Kerr in 8th, Colton Gardner in 9th, and Austin Bloom in the number 3 machine. 1 lap down is in 10th. Then we have James McKee 1 lap down, Matthew Rodriguez, Toby Wedgwood in 13th, coming back once again, welcoming him back in the 52 machine. 1 down, Dylan Petit 2 laps down, and your retirees with 15th of Kenny Brooks. Actually, Kenny Brooks was able to stay on the track And actually, as a matter of fact, some of these guys who were lapped down were still on the track. Not all of them were retirees. Kenny Brooks, Garrett Stidnor, Jason Harris, Adam Bozzi, Dylan Boddy, and Brad Kress round out the 20-car field tonight. And what a show we had. We will be live once again on a Thursday night for the Atlanta event that will be coming up next week in the Iowa Cup Series, which precedes every Highline Racing League event that we broadcast live on FTN. Next time we'll be live is Saturday night with the Full Send IndyCar Championship, a great group of guys, and we're looking forward to our next race at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with Montreal being the place where that is, of course, Canada. Probably their greatest track. It's a very well-known one and iconic to the open wheel scene, and we will be back there in just about 2 days' time. So we hope you stick around for that, and we thank every single one of you for stopping by tonight. We hope you enjoyed the presentation, and we hope we'll be back whenever we're live once again. Thank you all, and we hope you have a great night. And this time, we're finished.